Welcome back, folks, to Scripting for Linguists. In this episode, I have this question for us. Is it worth it to call Julia from Python? The reason I ask this question is because you can call Julia from Python with the Julia call Python module. You pip install it or conda install it, whatever your pleasure, and you just call from Julia call import main as JL. And then you can use that JL object as if you were calling native Python functions, even though you're calling Julia functions right in Python. Kind of cool. The coolest thing is that you can define your own functions in Julia and then call those into Python. That's what I do here. Let's jump back over to here. There it is, from Julia call import main as JL. So I have a Python module sitting over here on my hard drive that does some work. I have get frequencies. I'm going to use this function to get the frequencies of words in a file. That file is holding the novel War and Peace, and it has over 800,000 words in that novel. And then here's a little helper function to use that's used within the next two functions. This one gets the moving average type to token ratio, which is a measure of lexical diversity, how varied the vocabulary is in a text. And the way it works is that it looks at the first 50 windows, and it takes the number of unique words divided by the number of running words, gets that ratio. Then it moves the window over one word, so it's looking at the second through 51st word, and then gets the number of unique words divided by the number of running words, holds on to that ratio, does that for each 50-word window across the whole text, in this case over 800,000 words, and then it gets the average of those ratios. That's what the moving average type to token ratio does. The next one down is this one, the get MTLDW, which stands for Measure of Textual Lexical Diversity Wraparound. It's a little more involved. I'm not getting into the weeds here, but it's kind of like a variable size window moving across the text. And when the ratio of unique words divided by running words drops below 0.72, it notes that and it goes into the calculation at the end. So I'm not going to take time to get into the weeds on how it works, but you can see that it's a little bit more involved than the other. So I'm going to use Python here, right? I'm also going to use Python, that is. I have the Julia function I just showed, but I also have Python versions of those exact functions. So here's my Python get frequencies function. Here's the helper function. Here's the moving average type to token ratio, MATTR, and then there's the MTLD wraparound in Python. Just native Python. So we have three things happening here. We're going to use Python to get the frequency of words as well as those two lexical diversity measures. In addition to Python by itself, we're going to have Julia work by itself, but we're also going to have Python ask Julia for help. So we have three things: Python by itself, and then Python asking Julia for help, and then Julia working by herself. Okay. And as you may have guessed, I've already run this script before the video started. And I double checked that I was getting the exact same results for all those three linguistic tasks that I just mentioned. And we are getting the exact same results. But let's jump over here and look at our old friend, or use our old friend here, my old friend at least, R. Now you may say, wait, you should be using pandas or polars. Okay, I understand. But R is awesome as well. Here we go. So on the left-hand side, we have the frequencies, getting the frequencies of those 800,000 plus words in War and Peace. In the middle, we have the MATTR, or moving average type to token ratio, and one of the two lexical diversity measures. And then on the right-hand side, we have the MTLDW, the measure of textual lexical diversity, wraparound. Okay, so on the far left, let's take a look at this first plot on the left. So the far left, bottom left of my screen, we have Python working by itself. And it took about 29 milliseconds down here. These are in seconds, so this is 100 milliseconds right here. 0.1 second is 100 milliseconds, right? So it took 29 milliseconds. The median was 29 milliseconds. When Python was asking Julia for help, the median was up at 72 milliseconds. The average is actually above 100 milliseconds right there in red. And then Julia working by herself actually took only 23 milliseconds. So again, Python 29 milliseconds by itself. Julia by herself, 23 milliseconds. Python asking Julia for help, 72 milliseconds, right there in the center. Okay, interesting. Let's move on to the middle plot here, MATTR, moving average type to token ratio. We see Python is lowest there on the left of this center plot. And then Python asking Julia for help was a lot longer, 775 milliseconds right there. And then Julia working by herself was at about 540 or 50 milliseconds there. The exact numbers we can actually look at. So here are the exact numbers, the median and means of those 10 runs. So I did 10 trials on each of the three combinations, Julia by itself, and then Python by itself, as well as Python asking Julia for help. Here are the exact numbers, right? So we're looking at 666 milliseconds for Python to do the MATTR. Julia was at 538. And then Python asking Julia for help was at 780 milliseconds there. Okay, so Python actually won that little race. And the first one on the far left, Julia was slightly quicker than Python, but by only 6 milliseconds on average, or on median. And then over here, Python is actually a bit quicker, about 72, I think, milliseconds was it? 72 milliseconds, if I'm not mistaken there. Quicker. Python was actually a tad bit quicker. On the far right, let's look at the MTLDW, measure of textual lexical diversity wraparound. In this case, you can see on the bottom right of my screen, or this plot, that Julia was a lot quicker, nearly twice as quick as Python. Julia, let's look at the exact numbers. Julia was taking a second and this is a second and 320 milliseconds, so 1.32 seconds. Whereas Python by itself was taking 4.6 seconds. And then when Python was asking Julia for help, it took over 8, almost 9 seconds. That's what we're seeing visually here on the far right plot. So Julia kicked trash, was actually like 3.5 times quicker than Python. But in all three cases, we see that when Python asks Julia for help, it's slower. It's slower than just Python doing the work by himself or Julia doing the work by herself. In no case, in these three at least, is it quicker to have Python ask Julia for help. So jumping back to our research question here, right? And is it worth it to call Julia from Python? In these three particular linguistic tasks, it is not. Clearly not. Much slower to ask Python to ask Julia for help. It would be better to have Python do the work or have Julia do the work. Again, depending on the task you're doing, one can be quicker than the other. We kind of had a back and forth, neck and neck race between Python and Julia here when they were working by themselves, right? But clearly, for whatever reason, it is not quicker to have Python ask Julia for help. Now, I'm not totally sure why. Maybe there's a lot of overhead converting between the types, the data types from Python to Julia and back, or I'm not totally sure why at the moment. Perhaps it's operator error, meaning my code perhaps is not well written to do that task. Please, those who know how to call Julia from Python, I'll leave a link to my scripts in the description of this video. Please take a look and let me know if you see anything that I'm doing stupidly or not efficiently. I was just simply trying my best here to do it as I knew how. But yeah, so I do not have evidence. I do not have evidence that it is worth it to call Julia from Python. In fact, I have counter evidence that it's worse to have Python call Julia for help. You should just have one or the other work independently. There you go. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like, or subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Bye.